into real estate about 4 years ago. I was working too many jobs. I was working full-time jobs. I was working, I was working a lot of hours, 80 hours a week at one point. And it's just tiresome, man. I was getting sick of that shit. So I needed to find a way out. I wanted to flip houses, like I said earlier, but it's Carlos, bro. Hit me up, bro. If you just close your second deal because of me at 100K profit, like, you guys need to be hitting me up. Like, I don't understand how somebody can close $100,000 profit and not hit me up. Now, if you're bullshitting, it is what it is. But if you're not, like, hit me up so we can talk, bro. Anyway, I was sick and tired of it. I was like, I'm gonna flip houses for a living. Like I said, I watch all these shows that everybody has, and I didn't have enough money to do it. Okay. So I had to find another way to make money fast. And so the only way I knew how to do it was real estate. So I was like, okay, let me see if there's something else out there that I can do that involves real estate that will make me money. I bought a course that was $1,000, and when I did, it had a small section of wholesaling in there. So I went back and I looked at that section of wholesale, and I was like, man, I may be able to do this. Like, this sounds like something that maybe, may be able to get me to that point. And so I started doing a little due diligence, and then I started learning on it, and I started, researching. And about a year and a half later, I was still in analysis paralysis. So when I tell you guys not to get stuck in analysis paralysis, I mean that shit, bro. You're not going to learn everything about it in even a year or 2 years. Like, you're not going to know everything. So you guys have to make sure that you guys are taking action. So that way you're not, not just spinning your wheels. Like, I feel like I wasted a year, but I learned a lot of shit. But it is, it was valuable information that I got. But anywho, so once I decided that that's what I was going to do, and I got out of analysis process, I was like, dude, the only thing that's holding me back from this is my job. And so, because I was driving an hour to Grapevine, Texas from McKinney or Bedford, and then because we moved to Bedford from Grapevine, but I was driving like an hour, and I was just like, dude, this shit it's old, and 2 hours out of my day. And so I was like, let me just quit this damn job. And so I talked to my wife, we prayed on it, and decided that it was done. I was done. And so I put in my time. I left, and on good terms. But I was like, you know what? This is what I needed to do, man. And so I did it. And that was October 5th of 2020. So we're going on, this is year number 3. But 4 years of understanding it, learning it, being involved in it, 2 years of full-time wholesaling, a little over 2 years of full-time wholesaling. Our first deal, I ended up closing my first deal once I got out of that job. It took 4 months because I just was making mistakes left and right, and I was doing it on my own, and that shit was irritating. And so I finally closed this deal. We made 10 grand on it. I made a lot of mistakes, like I said. And it should have been 15 grand, but it was only 10 because of the mistakes I made. And then once I did that, I was like, okay, because we had to dump my wife's 401k. We were scraping and clawing and scratching, trying to find finances and resources. And then when I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, this shit's going to be my end all be all. I have to make sure that I'm doing it effectively, efficiently, and I got to make more than 10 grand in 4 months. I found a gentleman named Paul McComas on TikTok. Rest in peace to Paul. He passed away August of this past year, August 30th. He was the GOAT of wholesaling, man. He was the GOAT of real estate wholesaling. He was the GOAT of helping people. But he mentored me for about 2 years. And so once I started working with him, within 6 weeks, we had closed on 4 properties and made over 40 grand. And he helped us close those deals. And if it wasn't for him, then, I wouldn't have been on the path I was on. So in that time frame, we've closed tons of deals, man. We've closed deals that are $5,000, 10,000, 20, 7, 4, whatever. I just closed another deal, made 3 grand on it. Like, it's just small deals, you know what I'm saying? But they all add up. Base hits will win games, bro. But anyway, so the last the last thing I wanted to do was was give up after Paul passed away. And so I was like, you know what? I got to make sure that I'm doing something to keep going, and what can I do to do that? And so I found that I was, I wanted to help people, and I was really good at wholesaling. So I put those two things together. I started making videos, and bro, I tell you what, I have 500 people booked a call with me that first week, and I was like, holy shit, I can't do this. There's too many people. There's no way I can answer 500. I mean, take 500 phone calls. People were booking out until January, damn near. And that was in October or November. Yeah, somewhere around there. And anyway, so I said I was going to do the Zoom. I was like, let's just do a Zoom and we get all the people on here. That'll work, right? So that's what we do. And it's been going really well. But it's my goal is to help as many people as I can. Okay, this Zoom is free. There's no charge for this shit. The information is free. I'll give you all the information in the world, bro. I don't give a shit about information, because everybody says knowledge is power, but if you don't put knowledge to use or put it to work, then knowledge means shit. Okay, I can give you all the information in the world, but if you don't do anything with it, then that's on you. Okay, I give information on my videos. I do lives. I do these Zooms every day. I give you guys all the information you need to go and do it. Okay, you guys want to go out there and do it on your own, be my guest. Okay, I answer questions to a certain extent. Okay, but at the same time, I need my time to be able to run my wholesaling business, right? Therefore, I have one-on-ones. I do one-on-ones. We have a couple of different wholesaling programs that are different prices, very affordable. Check it out. Go to our link in my bio, demir.com. It's in there. Okay. We also have packages, and we have one-on-ones. You can book a call with me, one-on-one, shit like that. Okay. It's all on my website. Everything that's in there is there. Okay. If you guys want more one-on-one, and you guys want more of this type of guidance, it's there, bro. But I can't just give away my time for free. Okay. So anyway, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about wholesaling and how to do this shit without having to spend money on it. Okay. So when you get into wholesale, or what is wholesaling, right? Wholesaling is helping distressed property owners sell their property without having to put it on the market, without having to fix it up, without having to have people running in and out of their house, without using a realtor and all that shit. Do mobile homes work? Yes. If you guys hear me answering questions on the Zoom, I'm answering on my live. Okay, so don't think I'm just being a weirdo. But you're able to I appreciate that. He's your guardian angel. I appreciate that. Him and my mom are up there laughing right now. Like, look at this fool. Don't even know what he's about to get into. He's about to blow up. Don't even know it. I love that. Anyway, so selling the distress or helping a distressed property owner sell their property without having to put it on the market and all that, right? What you're doing is you're taking this property and you're evaluating it, right? You evaluate it for numbers that make sense. I'll get into the numbers that make sense part in a little bit, but once you have this property, you put it under contract for numbers that make sense. You take that property and you send that contract to your title company. Your title company will then clear that property, allowing you to be able to market it to a cash investor. Okay, so once you get that property to a cash investor, they're going to evaluate it. They're going to run their numbers. Once they agree to a price point, they will then sign the contract, and then they'll send it back to the title company. Title company will disperse funds. Okay, that's how it works. So if you get a property under contract for $100,000, and then if you get it under contract for $100,000, right, and the numbers make sense to where you can market it for 110, you're going to market it for 110. The end buyer is going to agree to that price point if it makes sense. And then once they do, if you get it for 100, you market it for 110, they agree. The title company will then take the funds and give 100 to the seller. The deed goes to the buyer, and you get the 10,000 in the middle. Does that make sense? Right, Bud, does that make sense? So 100,000, okay, you get it for 100,000. You market it for 110, okay? Once you market it for 110, that buyer agrees. Now they send $110,000 to the title company. Okay. And now once the title company has $110,000, they're going to disperse the funds to the seller of 100,000, you 10,000, and then the property goes to the buyer. Okay. So it's buy low, sell high, you guys. There's nothing crazy about this. But we don't use any money. So essentially it's sign low, sell high. Okay. How do you find your buyers? You can find them all over the place. Social media, you can go to investor groups, you can go to Chamber of Commerce meetings, you can go to all over the place, okay? I need help finding buyers because everyone is trying to JV. You need to find a deal. You need to find a really, really, really good deal, and you'll find buyers. Very simply. I appreciate the love. Thank you guys. What if you don't find a buyer? Back out. No, you gotta run your numbers correctly, you guys. Okay, run your numbers correctly. If your numbers don't make sense, then don't move forward with the contract. Okay. So a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't find a buyer, can't find a buyer." You don't have a deal. You need to go back and renegotiate, or you need to make sure that you guys are doing this correctly before you jump into that contract. Okay. So anyway, so it's a simple process. It's not easy. Okay. There's a lot that goes on in the process of this deal. So once you guys get the hang of it, you'll see that it's a very smooth process. Okay. As long as you know what you're doing. And we do our best to simplify that for you guys with the things that we offer on our website. Also, we're doing the Zooms and stuff like that. Okay, the Zoom info is in the link in my bio. Where can we compare for pricing? I don't know. What do you mean? Are you in the Bay Area? If so, do you hold sessions or meetups? I'm in Texas. I'm not in the Bay Area. I'm from Texas. I'm from California, but I'm yeah. Anywho, so the way I was explaining it to my wife too, because there's a lot of people like, well, why don't the buyers just go find it themselves? They don't have time. Okay, investors don't have time to go out looking for properties and finding properties and shit like that. Okay, well, why don't the people just sell it themselves? Well, these are distressed property owners. Okay, they're more worried about whatever the hell they're going through right now than they just need somebody to help them sell this freaking house right now. That's why. Okay, they need somebody to sell. Okay, and this is how I explain it now. Okay, I thought of a new analogy you guys are going to hear for the people that have been on here. Okay, if you have something in your hand, say I have, oh wait, here we go. I have this. Okay, I have this. It's an Apple Watch. Okay, now my Apple Watch, I can put it on eBay, right? And I can let it sit. And it can sit around and wait for somebody to come look for it. And eventually somebody will buy it for what it's worth or close to it, right? 150 bucks. This is a $200 watch, 150 bucks, something like that, right? 160 bucks. That's great. Or I can have a fucking yard sale. And I have a yard sale and people come to me and say, "Hey, bro, I'll give you 80 bucks right now for that." All right, shit, sweet. I need to sell it. I just need to get rid of it here. That's wholesaling. That's wholesaling, okay? So either you can put it on the market and let it sit and wait around for somebody that really, really wants it and that's going to give you a higher price point, or you have a fucking yard sale and put this thing out there and say, "Hey, somebody come grab it." People come grab it, they buy it for cheap, you get rid of it. That's the point. You're solving problems, okay? That's like the best analogy I can come up for with you guys. Like that's really that's what wholesaling is, because distressed property owners need to sell fast. They need to sell now. So you're trading speed and convenience for equity. Okay. You don't use money. You don't own the property. This is wholesaling real estate. You don't use money. You don't own the property. You have the rights to the equitable interest on the contract. Okay. So we ask how much they're looking for and then lowball. No, hell no. Did I say that? Hell no. That is not what you do at all. You need to get on this Zoom, bro. If that's what you think we do. Nah, not at all. And I'm not trying to come at you sideways. It's just that's not what we do. So you guys got to get informed. You got to get information. You got to learn about this stuff. You got to understand what you do, because I don't want people doing that. I don't want people going out there putting shit under contracts, lowballing people, and taking advantage of people. That is not what this business is. That's not what you should be doing. If you want to do that, or if that's what you're looking at doing, get the fuck off my Zoom. Get off my live. I don't want nothing to do with that. Okay, you're not gonna tell people that you learned to do that shit from me, because it ain't that is far from the truth. So once you get it, once you get a hang of it, it becomes a smoother process. Okay. Now when you start getting into this, bro, yeah, go to the link in my bio, bro. The link in my bio, we have tons of opportunity for a lot of people, you guys. There's not free. The Zoom is free. You can go there. The Zoom is free. I've been watching Pace Morby trying to get into this business. Pace Morby does sub too. It's different, but yeah, he's a good dude. I don't knock anybody for, anybody that's on there, that's out there, all good people, bro. I don't know them personally, but they're doing their thing. It is what it is. So when you get into this industry, okay, and you decide that this is something you want, you got to get your mind right, bro. You got to get your mind right. Yeah, there's only 28 people in the Zoom. You see why I didn't why we stopped doing the Zoom at night? I have 85,000 followers, bro, and 50 people don't even get on this Zoom, which blows my mind. Blows my mind. But everybody wants help, huh? Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to unalive, right? It's crazy.
Hey, Tim, can I cut in for a second?
What's up, brother?
There's somebody on the Zoom or something that has their volume up too high or something, but I hear a lot of echoing. I don't know who the person is, if they can mute themselves or something.
I don't know, bro. I have everybody muted. Sorry, I muted you. My fault. I have everybody muted, bro. Is it good now? Hopefully it's good. I muted everybody. So anyway, yeah, hopefully it's muted. Sorry about that, bro. So Pace Morby's a greedy guru. Damn, somebody see. I didn't say that. I was just reading. Promise. Are there more people on here than just the pictures of people? I like to see that I'm talking to people other than Bud and Raul. You guys put your cameras on, man. You guys want more people to people. What's up, Brad? I appreciate you doing that, brother. Anywho, I like talking to people, bro. Leanne, Jessica Gomez, what's up? James Davis, what's up? There we go. Look alive. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit more awake than a lot of people, but anywho, so get your mind right. You got to make sure that your mind is
This
correct.
is the kind of day I'm having. Can you see?
What is that? Is that Red Bull?
That's a blue Red Bull.
Hey,
my guy.
I'm just saying, bro. So yeah, so get your mind right, you guys. Mindset is everything. If you guys don't understand that, just listen to what I'm saying, bro. I'll preach about mindset all day long, and the reason being is because that's the most important thing, whether you're in wholesaling or just in life. Okay. If you can't close in a certain closing day, then go back and do an addendum, and you can push the date out. What's your favorite list of pool? Tired landlords. So once you hit the likes, bro, if I'm answering your questions, like that shit. Aren't buyers and agents gonna want to know you're qualified? Know what you're saying. You got to know what you're saying. And I don't work with agents. That's why I don't work with agents. Agents are just nosy, don't know what they're doing when it comes to wholesaling people. No offense. Anyway, so get your mindset right. Okay. You guys got to understand that you got to have the right mind. You got to have the right understanding, because there's going to be a lot of bullshit that you go through when it comes to this. Okay. When it comes to wholesaling. So I do know I'm a loan officer. Okay, sweet. Nobody said anything to you. Congratulations. I just said no offense, right? So the thing is once you guys get your mindset right, you probably gonna get mad. Look, I'm sorry. Don't work with agents. I don't work with agents. I'm just saying in wholesaling, bro, there's no reason to. I'm not trying to piss people off. I'm just saying, like, I don't work with agents because a lot of times agents don't know what the hell wholesaling is. Okay. They don't, and that's just the way that it is. They get into this stuff and they start saying things that just don't need to be done and stuff like that. And it's just two different worlds, bro. It's just two different worlds. Okay. So I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, like, but your wow explains it. I mean, don't be. Here's the thing, you guys. I'm not the one to cupcake people, okay? I'm not gonna tiptoe around people's feelings. If you don't like it, then get the fuck off, like I said. Okay? Just get off the line, bro. It's that simple. I mean, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna say what I say. It is what it is. It's my live, it's my Zoom. I do this shit, it's my time. If you don't like it, move on. So anywho, see, it interrupts shit, man. So the thing is that you're gonna go through a lot of stuff. You gotta have thick skin. Right, to my point, right? You gotta have thick skin, bro. You can't be sensitive about shit. You gotta know that there's gonna be people out there that are gonna chew you up and spit you out, and they don't give two shits about what you're going through or what you're doing. To everybody out there, you're a thief, a scam artist, a liar, fraud, blah 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 blah, whatever. Okay, all that stuff, and nobody gives two shits about your sensitivity. Okay, build that mindset. And I'm not saying to go around being a dick to everybody. I'm just saying, like, okay, don't be so soft. That's life. That's a life lesson for you. So what is what is the first step to wholesaling? Okay, like I said, mindset is everything. Once you get into it, you got to identify your availability and your finances. Okay, what am I getting? How much time do I have to invest in this? How much money do I have to invest in this? If I don't have that stuff, then I got to figure out what I got to do to get that stuff. Okay, if you don't have the finances for it, then it is what it is. That's why I teach you guys how to do this stuff without spending money. Okay, if you guys don't have the time for it, you're bullshitting yourself, because there's 168 hours in a week. You can do this. Okay, you can do this. You can find the time to do this. You just got to be able to figure it out. Time blocking is very big. My wife and I talk about it a lot. If you can't figure it out, you got to put time into different places of your day and your week to be able to get stuff done, right? And I show you guys how to do different marketing strategies and stuff like that. You just got to put in the effort, okay? When you identify that, then you're going to go into the next step, which is going to be, okay, where am I going to market? Am I going to market right here? Am I going to market on the outskirts? Am I going to market on the, in another state? Where am I going to do this stuff? How am I going to know where is a good market? Go in your surrounding areas, bro. Just look around. Just look for areas that have ran down, beat up houses, and have houses that are renovated, houses that have sold. So you want a mixture of it, right? You don't want all brand new houses. Now you can, but at the same time, it may not be the greatest. But also you don't want just all ran down, beat up, shitty properties. Okay. Is this Zoom freezing? Are you guys good? We're good? John, we're good? Thumbs up? Yeah, we're good. Shane, are we good?
What happened?
Is it good? Is it freezing?
No, you're not freezing too much. The only
Too much?
the only freezing that I see, I think, is on my end, and the way I can always tell is if everyone else is frozen and I'm not.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so you're not freezing.
Okay. Cool. Appreciate it. So your market is important because that's where your foundation is. That's where you're going to be for a while. Don't jump markets, okay? Don't jump from here to there to there to another place, because all that's going to happen is you're just going to keep turning your wheels, and you're going to say that this market don't work, and wholesaling don't work, and Tim's bullshit, and this and that. It's because you're jumping all over the place. Wholesaling is all about timing, okay? So it's all wholesaling's timing. You got to make sure that you're being consistent. You got to put in the effort on a daily basis. If you don't, then you're going to see that it's going to be very difficult for you to find traction, okay? Because your wholesaling deals are never going to come from your first call or your first text or your first encounter with whoever it is, okay? It's gonna come from the follow-up. So you got to make sure that you're going out there and following up with these people that you talk to, okay? Florida is a good market, hell yeah, for sure. How do you find your buyers? Social media, investor groups, real estate investment, stuff like that. What are they called? RIAs, Chamber of Commerce, networking. Go to networking events. Find people to talk to that are involved in wholesaling or that are involved in real estate, and you'll find buyers. I promise you. What's up, Shane?
I'm seeing a lot of people kind of asking on the live, how much is the income doing this versus how much is the course? In one deal, you could buy this course like 5 to 6 times.
Oh,
That's
easily,
that's my
dude.
answer.
Yeah, so here's the thing, dude. I mean, if you're looking at doing our mentorship, I mean, dude, Sarah's not on here right now, but she is in our program. Okay. Her first deal, she made $5,000 in 30 days. I mean, what does that tell you? She damn near doubled her money in 30 days. I'm
20
just saying,
hours
bro.
of time.
20 hours she put in. 20 hours. Look at the videos, dude. Watch my videos, bro. Dylan, we did another video with him. Closed the deal. The deal closed for $27,000. Yeah. I mean, dude, like it's insane, man. Like you guys can make the sky's the limit. The amount that you can make is compared to what I'm telling you guys, bro. And that's why people have courses out there. Like this is not a course, okay? Like when we talk about mentorship, when we talk about mentoring you, like it's this, okay? It's this. You get me, you get my wife. We talk to you guys on a daily. That's what's different. It's mentoring, okay? There's people out there that are charging $10,000 for this shit, okay? But we don't do that because we don't want. I mean, we understand that not everybody has 10 grand, okay? Hell, most people don't have 3. But the point is that we got to make it affordable for most, but then at the same time, we still got to value our time, okay? But okay, I won't jump into that. That I don't. That's not what this is for. The people that are on the live, if you're on the live, like, dude, like, just go to our website, okay? There's also a wholesaling hotline, bro. It's $300, okay? And you get 30 days of me. I mean, you ask as many questions as you want, okay? 24/7, and you get a whole course and $0 marketing, ARV calculator, all that shit. All right, moving on. Shane, damn it. So, so your market is important because that's where you're gonna be. Okay, AJ, I see you, brother. Let me get through some stuff and then I'll get to you. All right. And then once you have your market, you're gonna need a script. Okay, so you're gonna start looking at, okay, where can I get a script? Okay, go to Google and Google, wholesaling script and find something that somebody has already written up and go from there. Fossil K9 new assets. Go to my website. It's in the link in my bio. All the information is there. There's a bunch of different opportunities. Now, you guys can go and look for these things individually. Okay, you can go out there and get a script. You can go to wholesaling groups on Facebook, and you can ask people, hey, do you have a script that I can use? You can go to there for your contracts. You can go Google for your contract. You can Google all these different things. Okay, you can Google it. You can go online. You can look for different shit, and you can find it individually. Or go to our website. There's a package. Okay, I use PropStream. Go to my website, and there's a link in there. Use the link, and you get a 7-day free trial on PropStream. It's in my bio. It's on our website. So once you guys, either determine, am I going to do this shit and just go piece it together? Or am I, I can go to his website. You can go to my website and find a bundle package. It's $100. It's got everything that you need. Contract scripts. It's got the ARV calculator. It's got the course. It's got $0 marketing. It's got all that shit bundled into one. Okay. It's a one-stop shop. Now, once you guys get your script, you need to practice that. Okay. First of all, practice that shit and know what you're saying, because you're going to start talking to people. Okay. Now, if you don't want to talk to people, you can text people. Okay. And I'll show you guys how to do this shit. Once you look at your area, you're going to say, okay, once you look at your availability, your finances, you're going to see, how am I going to market? Okay. Am I going to do cold calling, text blasting, mailers, bandit signs, $0 marketing? Am I going to do, social media market? What am I going to do? Right. And that's where this comes into play. Okay. There's 4 ways that I show you guys how to do this shit for free. So door knocking is one, just walking around your neighborhood area, looking for properties that are ran down, beat up, shit like that you are able to talk to the owner about. Okay. And that's where your script comes into play. So you need to know what you're saying. Hold on, let me answer this question from Logan. Even the very worst VA, what is that? Virtual assistant? How many contracts should one maybe expect in a 90-day period? Dude, I mean, you can close fucking 5 in a month. I don't know, dude. There's no I would expect to close one deal at least in 90 days. I mean, if you're putting in the consistent effort, I would say you probably be working on 2 deals. You probably should have already closed one, and then you should be working on that second one already. Would you say that's about right, Shane? Depending on, you know, the area, the effort. See, that's the thing. It's all about timing, bro. So I can't tell you, because you could go 4 or 5 months without a deal if you're not putting in the effort and you're not being consistent. You know what I'm saying?
And
So it just all
you
depends.
you could go that far without a deal, even if you are being consistent sometimes, man. It's
Yeah, no, man. It's just the whole. I mean, wholesaling is all about timing, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like you guys just got to keep putting in the effort and being consistent with it. And the more you do, the more opportunity you're gonna have. Right? I mean, you can cold call, you can text blast, you can do mailers, you can do $0 marketing. I mean, if you do all of these different things all at once, you're gonna get a lot more opportunity. I'll tell you that much. But it's just up to you, right? I wouldn't expect anything in the first 90 days. I would expect to understand what I'm doing, to learn what I'm doing, to get a good understanding of how to get started and stuff like that. And then once I do, because here's the thing, like I said, your deals are not going to come off your first phone call or text blast or whatever. Okay. It just doesn't happen like that. Now, can it happen? Yeah. But at the same time, once you start getting those deals in your pipeline, bro, you could have nothing the first 90 days and then the next month close 3 deals because boom, 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 they line up. I'm just saying, like, that's what's up, Shane.
Also, when you get your first contract, when you get your first deal under contract, don't slow down. If you could have like 2 to 3 contracts going at the same exact time, that's money in the bank.
Yep, and just keep your foot on the gas, bro. You have to keep your foot on the gas because if you don't, your deals are in your pipeline. That's what I'm saying. Your guys' deals, they'll just keep lining up. Okay, you can't just stop at one. Back to what we were saying. Okay, so the 4 ways: door knocking, know your script. Ask. I mean, you're just asking people, hey, is there any reason that you're looking at you know, maybe taking a cash? Would there be any reason you'd take a cash offer on this property? Any reason you may be looking to sell the property? Something like that. Okay. If they're not there, leave a note. Just write a little note out, whatever, and put it in the mailbox or put it in the door or something like that. And once you do that, go on to the next. If you got driving for dollars is the next way. Okay, it's basically the same thing. Sorry, I got some dude rapping and dancing out here. It's hella funny. I wish you guys could see this right now. He is gone. Anyway, living his best life. So driving for dollars is the next way. Basically what you're doing is you're doing the same thing as door knocking, but you're just driving around looking for these addresses. Okay. And once you have these addresses, you write it all down, right? And then you skip trace it. Skip tracing just means that you are getting the owner's phone number. Okay. Now, when you skip trace it, you're not going to get 100% of the like, turn the camera around. He already went that way. Once you get these numbers, skip trace them. You can do it at truepeoplesearch.com. Okay, that's where you can skip trace it. Truepeoplesearch.com. White Pages is another one. Or you can just go to PropStream, use our link, go to PropStream, and it's like 12 cents per skip. Okay, per address, which isn't bad if you're doing like 50, 100 or whatever, right? But if you're doing like 500, 600, 800, 1,000, yeah, it can get up there. But it's just a matter of, look at, he's over here. But it's just a matter of you guys putting in the effort, man. And if you guys want to do that, then cool. It could cost, or like I said, you can do the shit for free. Social media marketing, that's how I do it. It's free. Okay, not pay per click. I'm talking about going on Facebook, going to yard sale, garage sale groups and stuff like that, making a post. Is anybody, you know, I'm looking for a fixer upper. I'm looking for a property that needs some love. Is there anybody out there that needs to sell a property? I can close quick with cash. Okay. That's it. Now you're not going out there saying, hey, I'm a wholesaler. Look at me. You want to give me your property for cheap and I'll sell it for more? Okay, don't be dumb. This is business. Okay. When you go into Target or you go into the Walmart or you go into Costco, do they tell you what they got it for? Fuck no. Because you'd be pissed. It's not the point. They're making it convenient for you to buy something, okay? So they got it for a price that was good enough for you to buy, right? So you get that property under contract for a number that makes sense. And then once you get it, you can then market it to an investor. Now, does it make sense to that investor, right? When you go into Costco and you need a tent, right? You need a badass tent, like a 10-person tent. And you're like, dude, like, I know that this tent's expensive, but it's here. I'm already here. I need it. I know it's good quality. And I know that it's going to last me a long time. So I'll be able to use it in the next 3 or 4 in the next, however many camping trips. Okay. So that's the point. Okay. I try to use analogies for you guys to understand what I'm saying. So that's why it's important for you guys to run your numbers right. So that way an investor says, okay, this is a good enough property for me to be able to make money on for the next years to come, or it's enough for me to be able to make a fat chunk right now. So that's why I'm going to take this property and I'm going to be okay with paying them $5 grand, 10 grand or whatever. Right now, that's, there's a lot that goes into that. And I don't go into all the detail and stuff on there because it just goes down a rabbit hole. Okay. But that's the gist of it. So the $0 marketing, that's what I use. That's what I'm talking about. Like I said, it's in our bundle, it's in our program, it's in our mentorship, whatever. It's all in there. It requires consistency, consistent effort. And the more you have out there, the better opportunity you have to get a deal, close a deal. Okay. Now with the last way is, like I said, with I don't do this, but I know that it is Jamil Damji does it, and he's a badass at it. Jamil Damji's a really good guy. I say this as knowing them as far as social media goes and them out there. I don't know them personally, okay? I don't know none of these motherfuckers, okay? Except for Brent Daniels, he's a good dude. But realtors, okay? Realtors are a resource that you can use. They have access to the MLS. They have access to expired listings. You can go on there and you're able to talk to them and go and get their expired listings and call people and see if there's any reason that they may be needing to sell because their house hasn't sold on the market. Okay. Now be very, very careful when it comes to realtors. Okay. Because a lot of realtors, A, don't know what the hell wholesaling is. B, surprisingly enough, right? How the hell does a realtor in the real estate industry not know what wholesaling is? That's why I say be very careful, okay? A, they don't know what it is. B, they don't know they don't know the ins and outs and why we do the things the way that we do it. And C, there's a lot of snakes. There's a lot of people that would just straight up take your fucking deal and not say a damn thing to you. Foul play, bro. I don't like it. I don't mess with people like that. It makes it very difficult for me to JV with somebody. I don't like it. And that's just my preference. But there are good realtors out there. See, if who was it that was on here? If she's still stuck around, there's good realtors out there, and there's people that do know some shit about wholesaling, and there's people that do know their stuff, even if they're they work in the mortgage industry, if they're loan officers, or if they're working for a title company, or if they're working for whatever, right? They know there's people out there that know stuff, but there's a lot more that don't. That's why I would advise if you guys are really looking at getting into this, don't fuck with other people like that. Don't tell your family and your friends and your coworkers and all that. They're going to shit on your dreams. For all the guys that are out there, I pray for you when you tell your wife about this. Okay, that's all I can say. Because I know how it goes, man. I know how it is. You know how hard it was for me to try to get my wife on board with this shit, man. You know how hard it was for me to convince her to spend $1,000 of our tax money on a little course, man. I know. For you ladies out there, if your husband ain't on board, I pray for you. It's hard. It's hard to convince, especially your significant other, to have the same mindset as you. You can't do that. That's when people ask me, how do I get my wife to get on board with this? You can't. You can't. You gotta, you know, you gotta be able to, talk to them. And here's the thing too. When people say, or if your spouse says, go and, go close the deal first, and then we'll, see if we can invest, or we'll talk about investing. Tell her, okay, I'm gonna go be a lawyer, and then I'm gonna go to law school. How the fuck does that make sense? You got to get the knowledge, understanding, get a mentor, and know what the hell you're doing before you just jump in there. You know what I'm saying? And like this person said on the live, sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission, bro. Jessica, am I boring you?
Hey, I was just gonna
Anywho.
say too that that it took you a little while to talk your wife into doing it, and now she's the goat at running comps and filling out contracts.
Hey, my wife ain't on here right now because of the kids, but I promise you, she's the shit, bro. She's better at this motherfucker than I am, because I know what I'm doing and I know how to do it, but she's very in depth. She's very precise. She knows her shit, and she's the backbone of this, man. She's the brains behind the operation. I'm blessed to be able to have her as a a life partner, but also as a business partner. So anywho, yeah, it's something that you got to understand. It ain't easy. Okay, it's simple, but it's not easy. What's the cost of your course? It depends. You want to get just 24/7 access to us, and get a course and all that shit, a couple $100. If you want, mentorship, you want one-on-one, it's a few grand. It's up to you. What do you want? What do you need? Okay, that's what you got to look at. Now, the next thing is, once you have an understanding of how you're going to market and shit like that, when you're talking to people, okay, write these down. You're going to be asking for 4 things: the condition of the property, the motivation of the seller, the timeline that they need to sell in, and the price that they need. Okay. Condition, the motivation, the timeline, and the price. The condition, you just want to know how many, has it been renovated in the last 5 years? Okay. Has anything been renovated in the last 5 years? And then also, the heating, ventilation, and air, has anything been, or the HVAC, has anything been fixed? The roof, has it been repaired, or is it leaking? Whatever. Foundation, is it cracked, or is there anything going on with it? Shit like that. Okay. Those are the big ticket items. Those are $10,000, $20,000 items. Okay. So you want to make sure that stuff's in working order. The motivation is the most important thing, because if they're not motivated to sell, then you're not going to get it for the right price point. Okay. You got to know, and you got to know what motivation is, bro. Motivation is not, downsizing. Oh yeah, we need to get into a smaller house. This house is just too big. The kids moved out, blah, blah, blah. That's not a motivated seller. Now, can it be a deal? It can. I mean, if the market's right, and if the seller's like whatever about the price point, but it's not enough motivation to get it to a price point where it's going to be, 60 to 70% of the actual after repair value. Okay. So you guys got to be paying attention to that stuff. Know what a motivated seller is. Okay. Understand what a motivated seller is. I got 500,000 comps on sale for 300,000. What are the repair costs on that puppy? If you got a house for $300,000 and the comps are 500,000, but the repairs are 160,000, you ain't got shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bro. I don't know. It depends on what the repair costs are. It depends on what your fee is. It depends on a lot of shit. Okay.
Hey, I'm starting to notice that if there ain't $100,000 spread, a lot of these investors aren't trying to touch it.
If
like between when there's not at least $100 spread in between ARV and purchasing price, a lot of these investors are kind of passing on that because they want to be able to leave room for closing costs and repair costs. Huh?
Said $100? Damn, froze. Anyway, yeah. So you got to have the right investors. You got to know, and you got to get distressed property owners, you guys. That's what you got to do. And please don't come on my live and start promoting other people. That's just stupid. Okay. I have a $200,000 spread on my contract. Need a buyer. That's what's up, bro. 100K. Yeah. $100,000. Sorry. So those are the things. So the motivation is the most important thing. The timeline, if they need to sell like yesterday, that's a good opportunity as well. And you know, you got to look at it in that sense of uh-oh, am I losing internet? I hope not. Damn.
No, I
You
can
guys,
see you.
you still see me? Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're good.
Okay. So the price, the timeline, like I said, it can be something that helps you in the situation, but the price is where you're going to be looking at. You don't know their price, don't give them the first price, okay? They need to give you the first price because they know what they need to sell for. They know what they need to get for it. If they don't know, then help them understand like this is what's going to go into it, okay? If they're just like, well, I don't know, what do you give me for it? Okay, well, that's a great question. Tell me about the property. Give me some information on it. What renovations have been done in the last 5 years? What's the roof look like? And don't ask them all these questions like, blah, 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 just freaking bombard them with questions, but get an understanding of the property and what's going on with it, okay? So condition, motivation, timeline, price, okay? The next thing is you got to have a title company, okay? Title company, just Google title company in your area, local title company. Call them and ask them if they work with wholesalers or if they are wholesale friendly or if they double close. Double close is just a term that is used for a different type of closing. I don't get into all that. I posted a video of it on my Facebook. If you go to Wholesaling Hotline on the Facebook groups, it's my Facebook page. Go in there. It's a video. It's very clear, concise on what double closing is. But it's just a term that we use because not all title companies work with wholesalers, okay? And if they tell you that it's fraud, it's a scam, it's this, it's that, don't listen to that bullshit, okay? It's not true, okay? And then the last part, you can also go to Blueprint Title. That's a title company we use. They work in 23 different states. Check them out, Blueprint Title. And the last thing, cash buyers. A lot of people worry about cash buyers. I wouldn't worry about cash buyers in the very beginning. I would worry about finding deals. A lot of people say I can't find buyers for my properties, and that's the problem. Is you just have properties, you don't have deals. Okay, you got to have a deal. You got to have something that a buyer will want. You got to have something that they'll be interested in. And there's plenty of opportunity out there for to find cash buyers. I mean, plenty of opportunity. You can find them on social media. You can go to Facebook groups. You can go to our investor groups. You can go to real estate investor associate RIAs, okay, real estate meetings. You can go to Chamber of Commerce. You can go meetings. You can go to just networking meetings. You can go out there, bro. Just talk to your dentist, talk to your doctor, talk to your orthodontist, whatever. Talk to people about real estate. Start talking about that shit. If you know people that are in construction that have, maybe their boss owns or their owner of their construction company owns real estate, ask them about it, bro. A roofing, somebody that owns a small business like a roofing company, like they may have a lot of opportunity out there for you. Another way to get interested sellers is by utilizing people who are out and about, right? People that sell solar. They're walking around, they're talking to people. They may see ran down, beat up houses, mailmen or women, male people, okay? FedEx drivers, UPS drivers, all that shit, Uber drivers, all these people are out there already anyway. So yeah, I mean, go out there and get it, dude. That's about it, man. Cash buyers, like I said, is the last thing. I wouldn't worry about them too much. I'd be focusing on getting my mind right, getting my my finances and my availability down. And then once I have that, I'm looking at what does my market look like? Am I in a good market, or can I utilize my market around me and shit like that? So Jane, did you have your hand up? What's up, brother?
I just wanted to make sure that you could hear me again because I was like out. But what I was basically saying is that if there isn't $100,000 difference between your price and your ARV, then a lot of these investors aren't going to want to touch that deal. And that was that on what we were talking about earlier.
Now keep in mind, Shane's in California, you guys. So
Well, no. So one of the reasons why I say that is because Tim will teach you too that they always go for the lowest comps and the highest repair value, or I mean repair cost when you're looking for your ARV. Because if you can get that deal to look as cheap as possible to your investor, they're gonna bite it better. You know what I mean? And so you always try to get the best you can for them.
yeah, because and then too, but you got to look at it too. And Shane, like I said, Shane's correct. You know, the price points are going to matter a lot to investors right now because interest rates are higher, right? Yeah. So a lot of flippers, they can't cash out refi. Or, I'm sorry, they can't. There's not a lot of people that are buying houses to live in right now. So when they flip it, it's gonna sit. They're gonna sit on it for a little bit. So they want to make sure that it's a great deal for them to be able to sit on for a couple months if needed. For buyers that are buy and hold, they're not going to be able to rent it, or they're not going to be able to flip it and renovate it and refinance it for a low number. So they're gonna be, you know, barely making a little bit of money or none at all, right? So you guys got to look at the market and what it's doing right now. Now, is it still a great time to wholesale? Fuck yeah, it is.
It always is.
It's always a good time to wholesale because there's always going to be distressed properties out there. Dude, there's people out there that will basically give away a property, okay? Because they just don't give a shit. So it's always a good way. It's always a good time to wholesale. But what I was going to say is where Shane's talking about that $100,000 difference, there's houses out here, okay, in Texas that are like $30,000. There's houses out in Alabama, Indiana, Louisiana, Georgia, Tennessee. I mean, $30,000 houses, $40,000 houses. So if you can get that house for, you know, 5-10 grand, and they only got to put 10 grand into it, it'll make sense for them. There's not a $100,000 gap. Now it would be probably a $10,000 gap, right? There has to be enough money in there for them to make some money on. Okay, it's got to make sense, and that's the biggest thing. Okay,
yeah, they're paying closing costs twice. So if you get them a deal and you show them this contract, they're looking at it like this. Okay, I have to pay to get it fixed, and I got to pay to pay the closing costs. And then once it's fixed and then they put it on the market, they got to pay in closing costs again. And so they're looking at how much money they're going to have to spend just to get this house in their name, fix it up, and sell it. And so that $100,000 difference between what you purchased it for to sell to them and what the ARV is super important. I'm not saying only 100,000, but if it's at least 100,000 in between that, then they're going to look at you better.
Thanks, sir. AJ, what's up, brother?
I'm out here in California as well. And man, no doubt California is full of sharks, man. Shane knows for sure if he's out here, that's what's up. But I just wanted to let some of your viewers know that, man, anytime you can get a mentor, you can get on a program, get with it. It's always nice to have some help, somebody there with you. I did my first wholesale deal back in 2014. And it was a unicorn. The guys that I work with are still partners today. We all laugh about it because we can't believe it happened. My check was $100,000, and that was my first wholesale deal. Fortunately, I had some people that were backing me, and I was at the right place at the right time. Just like you're saying, everything you're putting out to these guys is something. You're not BSing anybody, man. It's nice to see somebody out there just giving stuff away, just the information, putting the opportunity out there for somebody to come up and jump on it. I didn't have that. I got on here just to see what it was all about, what you were sharing and stuff like that, man. And so just as another wholesaler, man, we appreciate you, man.
I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate you for sure. I don't know who AJ is. I've never met him in my life. Okay, guys. I don't want you guys thinking I'm paying people.
Yeah, no, man. This was the first time I've seen him come across my feed before, but I've never really jumped on a Zoom and hung out. And I'm a strong believer that anytime somebody's helping somebody, they deserve credit. And Tim, man, you're out here helping people, man. Congratulations. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, you guys. Like I said, man, my goal is to help as many people as I can. If you guys haven't been on my Zoom before, jump on, bro. Just get informed, just get information. Don't go, for the people that are on my live, just jumping in. We're talking about wholesaling real estate. Before you get, disgruntled and upset and bitter about all these people that are out there taking advantage of blah, 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 this and that. Really, I don't give a shit. Okay. I'm not them. I'm not out here trying to take you for your money and your last dollar. I'm giving you guys fucking free information. Okay. It's a Zoom. Jump on, get information, get informed. You can come on here every day. I do it every fucking day, dude. 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. I don't have to do this shit. I do it because I want to help you guys. I want you guys to get out of whatever situation you guys are in, man. It sucks, dude. I didn't have this when like AJ was saying, I didn't have this. When I first started, I didn't have it. I had to wing it, bro. And I made a shit ton of mistakes and I lost a lot of money. And I spent a lot of time and I contemplated going back to my 9 to 5. I was like, is this shit even gonna be worth it, dude? Like, did I make a mistake? I got 3 kids. I got, a mortgage. I had car payments, all that shit, just like everybody else. I ain't no different than you guys. I worked at a warehouse for almost 15 years, bro. That's why I'm passionate about this shit. That's why I tell you guys, because I know what it's like to be on that side of it. But guess what? I don't have a boss. Okay, I don't have nobody telling me when I can and can't take time off. I don't have nobody telling me that I have to come in at a certain time. I don't have nobody telling me how much they think that my time is worth. I value my fucking time. Nobody's telling 20. You think your time is worth $20 per hour? Fuck that. Nah, dude, it don't work like that, bro. Not with me. Okay, I don't play that shit. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, you can determine. I did a video on it, bro. Why don't you ask that company the next time you interview with somebody? Ask them what's your guys' turnover rate? Why is it that high? Why is it that number? Ask them, why should I work for this company? Companies need you, okay? It's not the other way around. You can do this shit on your own. How do you think they got there? I'm just saying, bro. Like I don't say this stuff out of hate or anger or to get all worked up. I say it because I'm passionate about what I do and I love helping people, bro. And I want to see people succeed. This is not for everybody, okay? Not everybody's gonna go out there and start wholesaling and become a multimillionaire or whatever, okay? Not everybody's gonna do it. But just know that there's an opportunity for you that's out there. And that's why I do this, because Paul, my mentor, Paul McComas, was available for me when I got started doing this after I had tried to do it on my own. And so when I found that this was something that helped me get further faster, I said, fuck yeah, I'm going to help other people. I'm going to do that. I want to help other people do it. I want to see other people succeed. I love seeing you guys close deals more than I like closing my own. Like I said, we just closed a deal yesterday, made $3,000 on it. I'm not out here posting it, bragging about it, shouting and raving. I don't give a fuck. I don't really care. I helped somebody, okay, and I'm going to continue to help them, and I'm going to keep going. It is what it is, bro. It doesn't matter to me. I want to see y'all do that shit. I want to see you guys get out there and close deals, because that's what's important to me. Okay, what's up, Shane?
Hopefully I could get this out before my freaking computer decides to make you not hear me. I was gonna say too that the universe that we're in here with Tim and his wife, with the Facebook group and all of that stuff, it's a really cool little community of people that help each other out. Over the weekend, somebody had reached out to me for help and I was not available, and one of our buddies in here, Leanne, was able to help him out when I couldn't. And so we have a nice tight niche group of people that that I recommend anybody that's new to get involved with us. Did Tim freeze up? Where'd you go, Tim? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool. I think Tim froze up.
I think he left the building.
Yeah, he'll be back though. Okay. He'll be back,
Because
though.
there's a new host.
So I'm just gonna say, if y'all have questions, y'all can reach out to me and ask. If I can help you, I will. I don't mind at all. I help with in the group, and I help a few other people on a regular
I did have a
basis.
question before he had left. if
Go
you
ahead.
could.
Go ahead.
So the four things that he said that we needed was the condition, motivation, timeline, and price. And he explained all four of them, but I got lost when he said timeline. I'm not sure what he meant by timeline. Is that like when like the availability that they need to sell it, like the time that they need to sell it, or
So timeline has a lot to do with the motivation of the seller. You know what I mean? Like that's a major thing. Like I had a seller just recently who sounded so motivated, and then as soon as I got to the point where I was like, okay, well, you know, how long do you need to sell your property? Like, what's your timeline looking like? And she's like, well, I can't even move away until April. And I'm looking at what it is now versus when April is. That's a huge timeline. That's not a motivated seller. But if you have a seller that's like, I need to get out of here now. I need to get out of here right now. I need this done, that. Boom, you got yourself a motivated seller. Timeline is a big deal. If they need to sell right away, that's a good motivated lead. If they need 6 months to move, that's not a very good motivation for them to sell. So I'm not saying that, and Tim's not saying that it's not a deal, but it's not one that you want to rush into and spend all your time on. You know what I mean? You can work on it as you're working on other things to see if you can still help the people, but that's what he means by timeline. It's all about that motivation with your seller. If your motivated seller is highly motivated, wants to sell tomorrow, you're good to go.
yeah. And another thing, when he was talking about the contracts, when we take it to the title company, do we take both the seller and the buyers at the same time, or as soon as we get the contract with the seller, do we take it to the title company and then find the buyer?
Hold on one second. Hey, Emmanuel, you're not muted and we can hear the car sound around you. There you go, brother. Thank you. So check it out. There's 2 ways that you can do this, and it really depends on what kind of relationship you have with your title company. You can take both of them at the same time, or which is what I like to do. But if you have a really good relationship with your title company, you can take one at a time. Let's say you get it under contract with your seller. You can take that contract to your title company and basically just tell your title company, look, don't run escrow on this just yet. And they'll keep it in like on deck. When you're in baseball, you're waiting to go up to bat. They'll keep it there until you get your buyer, and then you can bring the other contract over. But I feel like it's better to bring both contracts at the same time. But if you have a good relationship with your escrow officer, then you can do one at a time.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Does anybody else have any questions? It's looking like Tim is probably not going to come back on.
I kind of got one real quick, man.
Okay.
I drive for dollars a lot.
Yeah.
Because I drive all over the city. I live in Houston, and man, I've been skip tracing. I've been calling, and you know, I can't get no calls back. Or the house will be abandoned, and it'll be condemned. You know, they'll have signs from the city, and they'll be like, "Nah, well, we're gonna fix it up eventually." And it's really got me down, bro. I'm really trying. Right now, I'm on my way to go see a property that I know that's abandoned, so I can skip trace it. Because I wasn't able to get the address of the house. But
What's your question? Are you just venting?
I'm kind of just venting, man.
Hey, it's all good, brother. Hey, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've gone out there and I've gone driving for dollars for a whole week, all day, every day, and didn't come up with a single lead. And it does hurt, and it does make you frustrated, but you can't give up, bro. Because right when you feel like it's time to give up, bro, that deal could be right there. You know what I mean? And there's a couple of things that you can switch up on. One of the things that I like to do is I like to leave a handwritten letter with my name and my phone number on it, handwritten, saying, especially if it's an abandoned house, not so much, but if there's someone there, but they're not home, I like to leave a note and stick it in their door, you know what I mean? And just say, hey, I was in the area. I noticed that blah, 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 blah. And then you put down your phone number and say, I'd like to help. You know what I mean? And a lot of times what happens when you leave a handwritten letter, they think of it as a more personal thing. right? They're like, an actual person came up and had the time to write this letter and leave it on my door. I'm going to hit them up and at least tell them I don't want to sell my house. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that'll spend money for little mailers and little postcards and little thises and little that. When you leave that on someone's door, 50, not even 50, let's say 70% of the time, I know I do, I just throw that shit away. I don't even look at it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, it's tree service. I already got that guy. Oh, it's this. I already got that. But if you leave a handwritten letter on the doorsteps of these places, you're going to have a better chance of people calling you back. But don't give up, bro. You are on the right track. So like what I said when I first started talking in this, to your question, the minute you think it's time to give up is the best time to keep going. You got this.
Hey, is the process still the same if it's a commercial building?
So the process with the commercial building is a whole nother story, brother. Whole another story. You got to run numbers a whole different way. And in this program, we're just kind of teaching you about the ins and outs of residential. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of information out there on commercial. There's a whole different thing with cap rate and everything that has to do with, you can still wholesale a commercial building, you know what I mean? But it's just it's a different way of running numbers. So that's a whole nother story.
Okay.
Yep.
I've seen 3 of them, and I'm gonna skip trace one of them today.
Yep. Handle it, bro. If you ever have any questions, you know how to find us. We're on that Facebook group and everything. So.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. Michael Herbert.
Hey, what's up, Sean?
How's it
Hey, a
going,
question.
brother?
So, doing good. So when running comps, I kind of watched a little YouTube about it, but I'm still kind of unsure of it. What's the best way and what's the real formula?
All right, so that's there's a lot to that. So I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try to sum it up for you the best I can. That makes it easier for you. If you do not have prop stream and you're trying to do it the free way, I use Redfin. And when I use Redfin, I put in the filters to look for places that have been sold, right? Because you can change all the little filters up there. And I make sure that I'm looking at houses that are sold, houses that are have been sold in the last 3 months, and houses that are in the area of the house that I'm trying to run comps for. So basically what I'll do is, if you know the area pretty well, I put in the zip code to the house and it pops up a map of that area. And then I put in my filters. I want it to be basically you want to look for a house that's almost exactly the same as the house that you're trying to do a wholesale deal on, right? Okay. It's got two bedrooms, 1 bath. It's 1 story. It's 1,200 square feet. You want to look for houses that are that. You want to look for houses that have the same roof. There he is. There he is. So real quick to finish your question, just make sure that you're looking for houses that are within a half-mile radius to start, that are pretty much the same as the house that you're trying to wholesale. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. And then last question is, okay, so you find 3 properties that are pretty much the same, but they're not. As far as like the math of it, are you multiplying all 3 of them to the one that you're actually trying to get a deal on, or how is that?
So the ARV calculator that Demir.com has does all of that for you. But the way that I do it is I look at all 3 of those and I see what their price is. So like, let's say for an example, one is, 250,000, one's 245,000, and one is 239,000. I know now that the house that I'm trying to wholesale, if a cash investor buys this from me and he fixes it up, he could sell it for around those prices. That's how much that house is going to go for. So when you're running your numbers, you want to make sure you're getting it at a low enough price, so that way when they fix it up and sell it, they can make that money back. So if it's 100, I'm going to go to a different number. If it's $150,000 house and you only get it for 100,000 and they got to pay 25,000 to fix it, that's no deal. They're not going to make any money. There's only a $25,000 spread, and they still have to do closing costs and stuff. You know what I mean? And so it's I don't know exactly what their ARV calculator does inside of its formula, but when I do it, I look at those 3 comps and I know that my cash investor can sell that house when he's done with it for around that price. That's
Sure.
how, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I'm in California also, so I
Right on.
understand the higher.
Right
All right,
on,
thanks, guys.
man. Yep, you're welcome. All right, I'm gonna
right.
give this back over to Tim because Tim's back in here. So if anyone else has a question, Tim is back.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, my phone died, and so I lost connection and all that. But I appreciate it, Shane. Appreciate you keeping everybody on here. Shane is out in California. He's a great dude, man. He knows his shit as well. Okay. Now I want to tell you guys this, okay? Like I was saying before, dude, my goal is to help you guys, okay? I want to make sure that you guys understand that this is not something that's going to be easy, okay? It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not going to just fall in your lap. It's not multi-level marketing. It's not, some pyramid bullshit, okay? This is something that it's the fastest way to real estate and it's the fastest way to financial freedom, okay? But anything we're doing is not, it ain't going to come to you easy, bro. You may be, like AJ said, man, you may be blessed to get a fucking unicorn right off the bat and get over $100,000 deal, right? I was blessed to be able to close on a property, make, 185,000. But the thing is that those are one-offs, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, it's a unicorn. That shit don't happen every day. 5,000, 10,000, shit, do that 6-7 times in a month. You know what I mean? But the point is, you guys, is don't doubt yourself and don't think that this isn't something that is possible for you, okay? Regardless of your age, first of all, okay? Regardless of your educational background, okay? I don't have no college degree and shit like that. I'm just some warehouse worker that found a way out. Okay, so keep motivated, stay motivated, you guys. We're on here every day, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. Like I said, the information is free, bro. If you guys want more one-on-one shit, go to my website, bro. I'm not here to push, persuade, or convince anybody to do anything, bro. But I know what helped me, and having somebody in my corner to be able to answer my questions and be able to bounce my numbers off of and shit like that. I can't tell you how much help that is. So if you guys want more of that one-on-one stuff, go to my website. If you're on the live, it's in my link in my bio. I'm gonna stay on this live for a while, so if you guys want to still ask questions on there, I'm gonna be on here. But other than that, man, you guys get out there, take action, and stay tired. You know what I'm saying? Get tired of the bullshit. Get tired of living that lifestyle. Get tired of going through whatever you're going through, and be tired enough to make a change. All right. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Y'all stay blessed. Have a good day.
Thank you.